we were buying oil and oil products from Turkmenistan. I mean, I can say it.
Yeah.
We had also vessels that would deliver to Ukraine and Greece, Turkey, etc., etc. In is always by vessels, so obviously vessels played a big part in commodity trading. So whether it is the ports, the storages, are kind of controlled by specific people, specific organizations. The things are done behind closed doors. I saw that many times. Not giving, they're calling me and asking me to take the money. I live in Dubai. Now we have decided that Thailand will be the headquarters. And from here we will kind of go into all other directions of Southeast Asia. As Thai, let's say, as possible. But yeah, we felt welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings from the Kingdom of Thailand. My name is Riyad Mamadzada. I'm a Bangkok-based M&A advisor. I relocated to Bangkok from Luxembourg at the end of 2023, and now I launch my podcast episodes. These episodes will feature interviews with seasoned business professionals from different industries across various emerging countries. The idea of this podcast is to share business, culture, industry-related insights from this part of the world. I believe that in the context of rapidly changing world order, of rising geopolitical tensions and evolving economic landscape, it's very important to gain deeper insights and better understanding of what's going on over here in this part of the world. And today I'm very honored to host a good friend of mine, Dmitry Odessky, a seasoned risk management professional with almost 15 years of experience in the commodities trading space. Dmitry has recently been promoted to the role of managing director. Dmitry, I'm very proud of your achievement. I'm happy to see that your hard work pays off, and you will be facing and you accepted new challenges in your professional career.
Thank you very much.
I've always been fascinated by the business insights and different business cases, industry stories that you have been sharing with me. And perhaps today we will have the opportunity to share these business stories, these insights, a few words about your background with a broader audience.
Yes.
That being said, I would like to give you the floor and to let you the opportunity to tell a few words about your background and about your professional and academic journey.
Thank you, Riyad. So first of all, it is a great pleasure to be here. Also, thank you very much for the invitation. It is the first podcast. I feel very special to be invited here as number one. I don't think we'll be able to talk about all of the experiences. I mean, we do know each other for 10 years. I think we only have 1 hour here, but let's try to get the best, the most important things out of it. I love sharing. I like to share my experience. It is caring. I like to share my experiences. I like to see younger professionals grow up and to help them. I like to see everybody happy and successful. I also would like to wish you, a lot of luck in this podcast. I think it's an amazing idea. We've talked about podcasts for many, many years already, but to actually set it up, get a professional team that we have with us right here. It takes also time and dedication. So good for you. I hope one of the first of many, and I will be back again if you'll invite me. So, yes, my background. I'll start with my education very quickly. Nothing interesting there. Bachelor's in economics. Actually, economics was something that I liked a lot because this is something that governs the countries. It's really, I think, the first introduction to even international relationships. First, you have to understand economics, how they work, how the money flow goes, why do countries need each other, etc., etc. The relationship between the countries, basically. After that, I decided to do banking and finance. So my major was in global banking and finance because first of all, banking is a very important part of commodity trading, as you very well know. And I always said, or for many, many years, I have been saying that, in my opinion, finance is the heart of every company. You don't have good finance, your company will not succeed. If you don't have good cash flow, if you don't know how to finance your trades, you will not succeed. So for me, that was key, and I felt like with if I study finance and banking, I will always be able to find a job easily. I was wrong. Which brings me to how I got into the commodity trading business. I might be jumping over some of your questions, but it doesn't matter.
Actually, that was just my next question.
Yeah.
How did you break into the commodities trading, and what does it take to get there?
Well, I got into it by a big coincidence, I would say, like that. Luck. I'm extremely happy that it happened to me, but like I said, my plan was to do banking and finance and go work in an international big bank. At the same time, once, literally just months before I finished my studies, banks had done some illegal things, and there were some fines. European banks were fined, BNP Paribas, UBS, Credit Suisse, for dealing with some sanctioned products, etc., etc. Because of that, they started to fire people instead of hiring them, so not the best time to look for a job.
Timing is important.
Very important,
yes.
As you will see. At the same time, it turned out to be just better, because I actually now feel that commodity trading and risk management in general is my field, not banking and finance for sure. I feel like I'm the luckiest man in the world, if you will. So once I was not able to find a job in banking, just after I finished my master's, I started applying, well, basically anywhere. I needed a job, right? So by chance, a commodity trader, oil trading company, mid-sized, I would say about 25, 30 people, invited me for an interview, mostly because I spoke 3 languages. So I do speak Russian, English, and French.
How important is it to speak languages?
Extremely important. I believe that you moving to Thailand, to Bangkok, you can feel it firsthand.
Yes.
Once you don't understand what the person in front of you is saying, it is very complicated. Forget about doing business, just buying anything in the supermarket. So speaking is very important. At the same time, it gives an advantage to the employer. Basically, as a person who speaks 3 languages, I was able to do a task of potentially 3 people, right? Because I was able to multifunction or use 3 different languages, read different documents, translate, communicate with external key holders, or basically just partners in different locations around the world. So where it is Russian-speaking part, English-speaking part, French-speaking part, which is a large proportion of the world. I mean, it's not the majority, but it is a big part of it. Africa is a lot of French-speaking parts. Let's not go into that. Basically, because of my English, French, and Russian, but with almost 0 experience in commodity trading, they decided to give me a chance and hired me as a junior.
So basically, languages was the
that was the only advantage, I would say, I had over everybody else. I speak English. I started learning English since very young age. I think I was 10 years old, so my English was on a very high level, much higher than the majority of the people around the world. Maybe not around the world,
Geneva.
but in Geneva, I would say that.
And
in
maybe
the
in these countries, you were working in the Caspian and Black Sea regions, right?
Yes, actually, even around the world, I mean, the company that we worked for, with our partners. So it's a lot of European countries. People do speak English, but not as good as I am, not as fluent as I do. Whether it is Africa, same thing. Whether it is, ex-USSR or CIS countries as well, the English is there, but it's not a very strong language. I mean, very strong level. So that had, gave me an advantage. Plus, my French was very good at that point of time. My stepfather is Canadian, so I used to practice a lot of French with him, and that allowed me to obviously advance it. To go, let's not stop on that.
Yes,
I think that you have a lot of questions for me.
Yeah.
In any case, the point here is that I did not have any special skills, right? I was hired, as I was saying, as assistant to trade finance operations. So my luck here, once again, a little bit lucky, that it was not only one department when I was where I would be able to only learn one function, let's say trade finance. I actually was able to do 2 different things at the same time. So operations, why it's important for a commodity trading company, because this is literally the supply chain. Operator runs or controls the whole flow of the product from the moment the trader has concluded a deal. So preparing of draft of the contract, communicating the contract and the draft to all of the departments, reaching out to departments to finalize the draft to make sure that everybody is happy with the wording, communicating with the counterpart to to understand. Maybe they have some questions, some objections, maybe we have some objections, trying to basically finalizing the whole contract, and then literally in charge of finding a vessel. So you have to connect the logistics department. So you tell them the dates, you tell them the volumes, etc., right? Then you have the product loading, discharge, all of this. So all the documents that are supposed to be produced, this is all done by the operations department. So this
You started there
as an assistant.
Yes.
So what I did as an assistant, as I always say, I mean, it might sound a little bit quirky, but all the work that nobody wanted to do, they gave to me, right? So in the beginning,
and you never say no.
I came with a very open mind. I felt like this was my opportunity. Really, I really felt that way. At moments I was working a lot. I was doing a lot of job, not fun work. Even like archiving, scanning, bringing documents, like everything. But I had a bigger goal in my mind, I would say.
I thought, vision.
Yes, I had to. I understand that sometimes you have to suffer to get to a better place, right? I said, okay, I will take it. All of this at the end of the day is still better than not having a job. That's number one already, right? Second part of that, let's say operations, assistant to the operations department, and doing all of these dirty jobs, it allowed me to actually get to know all of the documents that have been produced. I would archive them, I would scan them, so I would look at them, I would read them. What is this? So I would show a lot of interest, That allowed me to understand what am I doing with, what am I dealing with. Same thing for trade finance. So trade finance, like I said before, it's basically financing of all the deals,
yes.
Whether it is prepayment to buy the product, whether it is letters of credit of receiving funds from the counterpart, the buyer. So there is a whole process that is involved. There is also communication with the banks here that comes into play, right? So again, another set of documents that needs to be prepared. LCs are very, very specific. One small
letter
mistake. Letter of credit, I'm sorry. Letter of credit. First of all, there are several types. Secondly, one small mistake. Literally, instead of a comma, you put a dot, and the bank can reject. They will not pay. So it's very, very important. So I got to learn that as well. I think for the first year and a half of my career, I was doing this. Like I said before, it was a little bit frustrating, because I felt like basically, the person who does everybody else's job, yet I'm getting paid like the lowest salary. This is one part as well. In order to get the job, to make sure that I got the job, because I really wanted it, I asked for a very low salary. The boss said yes straight away. I mean, really. In a way, at that point of time, I was thinking, man, I should have asked for a higher salary, because I feel like they're taking advantage of me. I'm doing everything for everybody, and I'm getting paid nothing,
How did you change the situation?
Again, I got a little bit lucky, I guess. Okay. But this is something I'm not even lucky.
This is a different topic also, yeah.
No, I mean, let's get into it. So this is how I got into the industry. Let's put it that way.
Industry, correct.
Okay, so did the studies, started applying because the banks were not hiring, got into commodity trading because of the only, I guess, skills I had at that point of time, which is my languages, and asked for a low salary to just get in, to put my leg in and then try to get it out. And then, the rest, hard work. I said, listen, this is your opportunity. I remember saying it to me, literally, I remember saying it to me. Every time I would get frustrated and upset, demotivated, I said, man, you don't have this, you don't have anything. Work hard, and hopefully with time, it will allow you to grow. Look at me now.
I see you, and I've witnessed your hard work. I've seen your hard work when I was a student in Geneva.
Yes.
And I remember the stress, long
Yes.
hours,
Yes.
and I've always been fascinated that even after the working hours, you always discussed work-related stuff. You always responded to your calls, to your emails, and you were very involved. You were passionate about your job.
Yes. This was actually the second stage. It was not the first year and a half.
I met you in the
Yes,
second stage.
the second stage.
Yeah.
When I started to really love my job.
Yes.
Something changed. This is what I was about to say, that, and this happens in every company, so it's not just me, but head of risk and insurance at that point of time was offered a different job in a different country, different company, sorry. He was offered the role of managing director for somebody else, completely different industry, steel trading. Not even
Where
funny
you're
enough. Funny enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
funny
funny
enough.
enough.
I just realized that. And he left the company. And the owner of the company, I was literally having this conversation today with our insurance broker.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get
We'll
that.
get-
I'm just saying
we'll
that
get
it's
there.
just so funny.
In
that,
Thailand, in
what a,
Bangkok.
what a coincidence.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to. They wanted to cut down on costs, so they didn't want to hire a senior manager again. So they said, okay, let's just give it to just a little bit to him, a little bit to her, stuff like that. I saw that as an opportunity. I remember I was even thinking about it, a little bit stressed, but I decided to go to the boss and say, listen, let me have the insurance, because I was already also assisting a little bit with the insurance. I was preparing the monthly declarations, right? I didn't understand a lot. The risk manager would do all the negotiations, all the talking, meeting with brokers. He never took me with him. Just input data to Excel. Take here, put here, find information here, put here, gave me some, basic points that I needed to know. That's it. Then he would check it himself. He would submit it himself. So I had no contact with the brokers at all. So I said, you know what? I want to do that, because what I like about insurance, there is logic, numbers, logic, and analytical skills, which I do have. I think genetically already. It's maybe also university helped a little bit, but genetically, right? I like math since young age. I like math. So I said, let me do insurance. I said, I believe that I know what our company needs and what are our capabilities. Let me do insurance. He said, okay. So this is how I got into insurance, right? Only insurance, not risk management, only insurance. Then once I got the job, I think, was it Steve Jobs who said, Virgin airline owner. I forgot his name. Google it, ladies and gentlemen. He said, first get the job and then learn how to do it. I don't know if that's the exact quote. Again, Google it, plus or minus. This is what I did. I got the job, but I had no idea what I had to do, right? So I was sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, what do I do now? And this amazing thought came to my mind, that we have insurance brokers who receive commission. And because they receive commission, they're obliged to answer all of my questions. So I started asking questions. That's literally all that I did. Literally the stupidest, simplest questions, because at that point of time, I did not know anything almost about insurance, only where to get information to input the Excel table. And within, I would say, 6 months to 9 months, I started to really understand insurance, because it became very interesting. Also, I became very independent, because now I didn't have a senior management surveying me, so I was in charge of the insurance, and I loved it. I loved the feeling where I can make decisions myself. I started talking to brokers, meeting with the underwriters, choosing, negotiating insurance. I made mistakes. We all make mistakes. We learn from mistakes. They say if you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. I got fooled. Sometimes they sold me a much more expensive insurance policy with maybe conditions that did not fully cover or benefit my company. And later on, I understood that when the claims came about. But it was all experience. The next time I negotiated the policy, I did a much better job, I'll tell you that. So this is stage 2, where we met.
I think it takes a lot of courage, and you were very brave to accept this, and to accept this new challenge.
Yes.
And to do what it takes to get where you are right now.
I think it's very important in in commodity trading in general, not to be afraid. I always say there is always a solution. It might not be the best solution, but there is always a solution. You just have to think very hard about it. If you're afraid, you will not do anything. You will not go outside of your house every day, right? Don't be afraid. What's the worst case scenario? You lose $1 million. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? It's a joke,
That's
of course.
A great transition for my next question.
Please.
What would you recommend to someone willing to break into this industry?
Hard work and dedication. Really, it takes time. In the beginning, it takes time. Meaning, everybody says that, but in the beginning, when I was just joining the company, people were saying 5 years. I was thinking, oh my God, 5 years is such a long time. Much shorter than that. If you're really a hard worker, dedication, if you really, like what you do, and you work very hard, you give it all. So, just like you, I did the same thing, not 8 hours a day. It was 9 to 6. I would work 14, 16 hours a day sometimes. I had months when, this was a little bit later on, where also risk management was added to me, so hedging of products, we'll discuss it later. I worked for 15, 16 hours a day for about 3 months, non-stop. I was sick, I lost my voice, and I would still come to the office. So this is dedication, in my opinion, right?
Yes.
If I would be like sick and stuff, first of all, they could have replaced me. They said, okay, why do we need the person who every time he's sick or he's not feeling well, he's going home?
So you made yourself irreplaceable.
Definitely. And everybody knew it in the company. After a while, everybody knew. There was literally like something, oh, do you know how to do this? Oh, ask Dmitry. Oh, do you know what this is? Ask Dmitry. And I heard that and I understood that I was very irreplaceable. But let's go to the youngsters. Wait, to the youngsters. Another thing, like I said before, ask questions. Very important. I say to all of my employees when they just join the team, especially the youngsters, don't be afraid to ask questions. So it's better for me that you ask me 10 times the same question and I will explain it to you in different ways in order for you to understand, than you ask me only once and then you make a mistake and it will cost the company money. That's it. The first 3 months at least are always there for you to be able to ask questions. Very, very important. Ask questions. You don't understand something? Ask.
That's one of the first advices you gave to me.
Yeah, that's why you ask me a lot of questions.
When I started my career.
That's right.
Another great transition. Speaking about the advice, what advice would you have given your younger self if you had to start over a career in the commodities trading space?
It is a very good question. Very difficult question also, right? I mean, I would say be more curious. Even my mother told me at one point of time that as a youngster, I was not curious enough. She thought, I know that, like we had a discussion, I was actually very surprised, but when I joined the commodity trading, I would say that I was too concentrated on just my department. So trade finance operations. Then I went into insurance, only insurance, right? The faster you understand the global aspect of the whole commodity trading, the easier it's going to be for you to do your job. So for me, once I started understanding how operation works, how trade finance works, how logistics works, how warehousing works, etc., 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 I started to much better understand what are the risks that we are running, right? So I started to understand much better what insurance policies and covers I need to put in place. What do we need, what we don't need. So then it's easier for me to negotiate the policies. So that's number one thing. Try to understand your business as much as possible. Don't just be stuck in your department just because it's already very difficult. A lot of information coming in. You don't have time, to kind of, oh, what about this? Talk to your colleagues. Have conversations, in the kitchen. You're having coffee. Ask them about the department. Like, be curious. Is basically the advice that I would give myself.
Very interesting, and I think
curious.
It's fundamental, I think, in many businesses to have a global understanding, and that's what will allow you to grow faster.
I would disagree with
better.
Large companies, and I've heard that many times. In large companies, you're stuck in one department and you cannot go. I worked in Allianz Trade, global leader in credit insurance, trade credit insurance. Every time I wanted to give an idea to another department, every time I wanted to, suggest something or to understand something, I was put into my place. None of your business. Well, they were not saying it to me like that, but they were showing it to me. I say, oh, why don't we do this? Oh, let's keep it for. Oh, great idea. Let's keep it for next year. I heard let's keep it for next year at least 5 times.
Lack of agility.
They felt like I'm trying to get into their territory, and they didn't want that. Now, here, the reason why, that's a good question. Maybe because I had great ideas that they were not able to come up with. They didn't think about them, but they didn't want to present my ideas as my ideas. So I said, well, let's keep it to next year. Maybe you won't be in the company anymore, and then I can present. I'm joking, of course, but you understand what I'm talking about. So I would say in smaller companies, yes. All the departments are working together. It's very, very important. Yes. In larger companies, no. You're put into larger banks, financial institutions. You're put into your department, and that's it. You don't get more information. You're not putting copy of conversation that another department is having with another department. You're just stuck in your own area.
I will agree with you.
Thank you.
I'm working now in a boutique environment for the last 3 years and a half. And definitely we witness similar dynamics in our industry.
So let me give another advice to the youngsters who are listening, all the millions and millions of them outside, all around the world. When you start your career, it's better to work in a smaller company because you get to learn more. Also, like in my case, sometimes you get to do different jobs. So you're not only stuck in that one department. If you start in a big company from the beginning, you only get to learn that one specific department job. That's it. So I would say that's very, very important also.
That's what I'm pitching to our interns during the interviews, that in our company you will have a way bigger exposure. You want to be focused on one or two particular tasks, but you will be able to see, for example, the whole transactional cycle, the whole M&A cycle.
And you should allow them to do that. Don't just
Absolutely.
say that, actually allow them to do that. I think it's one part of being a senior manager is to help newer company, newer colleagues or younger colleagues to learn and grow. Because the faster they grow, the better they understand their business, the easier it's going to be for you. I still have sometimes have to micromanage things. I still have to do things by myself, even though I do have employees. Just because some employees, either they are not understanding that or they're not willing to learn. I fired many people also. I did. I mean, it's part of the business.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking about your career, let's pivot this discussion to more profession / also geography-oriented discussion. From the early stages of your career, you've been exposed to the emerging markets. You had experience dealing with the Caspian region, Black Sea region. What did you learn from that experience, and how was it to work with that regions? Compared to your peers working in more developed markets, for example.
So the one thing I always said after the Caspian region and the Black Sea, more the Caspian region, but even the Black Sea. It will be easy for me to work everywhere else.
It's more challenging.
Yeah, very challenging. Things are not done. What's written on the paper doesn't mean anything. You come from the Caspian region. You know that things are done.
Not professionally.
Yes. You know the things are done behind closed doors. I saw that many times. We have a contract and then everything goes completely different. So I ask my colleagues, why? They agreed. Where did we agree? No, this guy had a conversation with that guy, and so things like that. Also, much more corruption, losses, theft. I mean, I was in the oil trading business.
While you were based in Geneva, that's an important precision. So you were Dmitry was based in Geneva, but he was working with the Black Sea and Caspian regions.
Yes, we were buying oil and oil products from Turkmenistan. I mean, I can say it.
Yes.
And we would ship it through the Caspian region, either by river that would go through the Volga-Don River, Russian part, and then into the Black Sea, or through Azerbaijan. We would deliver it by vessel to Azerbaijan. It was much faster, only 5 days. By the river it would take about 20 days, sometimes less. Then you also have the draft. Anyway, I'm not going to go into details. And Azerbaijan to Georgia by railway. So we had to discharge the cargo in the port of Azerbaijan, load it again into railway, deliver it to Georgia, the storage location, discharge into tanks, storage tanks. Then we would wait or accumulate a big volume and then sell a large vessel in the Black Sea. And then this is where our business ends. Then they take it somewhere else. But sometimes we had also vessels that would deliver to Ukraine and Greece, Turkey, etc., etc., etc. All of the countries that are kind of in the Black Sea. So because the operation is so complicated, and because also the facilities there, so where it is the ports, the storages, are kind of controlled by specific people, specific organizations for many, many years.
Relationships are important?
Hugely important. So just to cross the border between Azerbaijan and Georgia by railway, we had to have a special agreement with a specific company or specific people who will allow us to pass. If not, your railways get stuck at the border.
And you were managing it from Geneva?
Yes, everything was done from Geneva. I've actually never been to Turkmenistan. I've never been to Georgia.
But you did a lot of business there.
Yes. This is actually the good part, and I think a good point that I should mention, that commodity trading can be potentially done from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be located. Now we have a lot of operations in Africa, Latin America. I'm not there. I live in Dubai. I mean, I'm completely outside of it. So yes, commodity trading, this is a fun part that you don't have to be locally, I mean, you don't have to be physically located there. Everything is done by paper. So right, a Dubai company can sell to a Chinese company and the product will never be in Dubai or in China. It will end up somewhere in Africa, you understand? This is a part of it. That's why I really like commodity trading. It's a very global international business. Run from anywhere.
You're helping me a lot with my transitions. Thank you so much for that. You mentioned that now you're based in Dubai. I remember when we met in Geneva, when I was also living in Geneva, I was studying there. I remember you really loved this city. You loved to be in Geneva.
I loved Geneva.
You didn't like to leave Geneva. What happened? How come that you relocated to Dubai? And it's not only you. I can see within my network, there is a certain trend, a relocation trend from Western countries to Dubai, for example, or Singapore. What's going on?
Well, geopolitics helped. That's number one thing. As you mentioned at the beginning, a lot of changes are happening now in the world. BRICS, a lot of even China, Russia, America, Europe. A lot. We're not going to talk about that. We don't have time.
No.
I mean, this is going to take forever to discuss it. But and maybe I'm not even the best person to discuss it. But I feel like Dubai has created a real hub. I think it was done on purpose. They have created a lot of the facilitated things, facilitated financing, facilitated even employment. So now even like you can get visas much easier, right? So you can actually bring people from one country to another. So I know from Geneva a lot of companies have moved to Dubai, bringing their Geneva office to Dubai. Taxes, very important. When in Europe and in Switzerland taxes are rising due to heavy spending by the governments, Dubai says no taxes on your salary. Corporate tax, I believe, is 1%, maybe a little bit higher. Again, Google it, I don't remember exactly.
5%.
I'm not in 5%. Is it 5%?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember. I heard 1% somewhere. Anyway, Google it. I'm not into taxes. So there is also cheap labor. I would say cheaper than Europe. Oh, okay, Switzerland specifically, much cheaper. There is no social security, so you don't have to pay, every month also social security is very, very important.
But the employees don't have to pay taxes on their salaries
Exactly.
either.
So
it's a 0%
exactly.
tax. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
Absolutely, and they can put aside money for their social.
Yes.
Actually, now there is some sort of, even this is creating. There is social security. This is something new. Like a year and a half ago, I think they implemented it in Dubai. Yeah, I think it was 1st of January 2023. The employee himself or herself pays a very large, small amount, something like less than $100. And after 1 year working for the company, if you're fired, you get 4 months of kind of unemployment. They pay, I believe, 60 or 65% of your salary.
Okay.
So they're already getting there, but the employer still doesn't have to pay anything. So Dubai did that also to bring people to their country, to their city. I mean, the Emirates in general, but Dubai, I would say that's the hub, right? Because they're building a lot of housing there. Mm-hmm. They need people to move there. So like I said, they have facilitated the relocation of business and employees to Dubai, and it worked. At the same time, security. Majority of the people that I talk to, what they say that they love about Dubai is the security. Physical. You can go outside at any point of time. Leave your phone, your everything. Nobody's gonna steal anything. There is no crime where you can get robbed or something like that. Financial crime, yes. We're not gonna talk about that. Next podcast.
Next podcast.
Yeah, next
yes.
podcast.
Dmitry, do you think Dubai will overcome Geneva as a commodity trading hub?
I think it already did, because of the reasons I just mentioned. Also, another reason is financing, right? Very cheap financing in Dubai, whereas in Europe now, due to interest rates increases, inflation, they're fighting inflation, so the financing became very expensive. In Dubai, literally, they're giving money for free. I had a call, I believe 1 week ago, somebody called me from my bank, and they said, we can give you up to 100,000 dirham tomorrow.
But this is personal.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Both for trade finance, personal financing.
If they give you personal, believe me, they're going to give you for your business. Usually it's the other way around. It's hard to get a personal loan, and I'm not even looking for it. They just offering to me. I didn't even apply. At 3.2%. So in Europe, I think the interest rates are around 4.5%, 5%. This is what the central banks are lending at.
Yes.
So what do you think the people, if I ask for a personal loan, I'm going to be at like 6-7%. Here they're giving you at 3.2. Not giving, they're calling me and asking me to take the money. So financing, yes. Again, like I said before, a lot of commodity traders have moved. A lot of professionals have moved. People are very happy about the security and not paying taxes. So I think Dubai is already a hub. And I think it's going to only develop even more, increase even more. Europe, unfortunately, is losing. Geneva, London as well, is losing its appeal as a commodity trader, commodity trading hub. Even the insurance market, like the Lloyd's market, has been suffering. I think that a lot of companies are going more to even Asia. And even the local, I would say Middle Eastern companies, so it could be Saudi Arabia, could be the Emirates, they are actually getting much more clients because they have much more risk appetite.
What about the quality of the services that you get in Dubai? Is it comparable to the quality that you had in Switzerland? For example, the insurance, brokers and stuff?
Yes, I would say yes. Maybe not 100%, but I would say still yes. I will tell you like this. Out of 100 brokers that I have met in my life, and I met hundreds, only about 10% are good brokers. So this is everywhere.
But you met good ones in Thailand, and I will ask if
not only good, amazing brokers.
Amazing.
We had a really, first of all,
I know that you're just out of your meetings.
Yes, she has done an amazing job.
We'll get back there. We'll get back there. We are making another great transition. We will pivot back to the risk management profession questions and the broker's risks and managing these risks. What are the key risks you are managing on daily basis as a risk manager?
I would say number one risk right now is credit risk for us. Due to, I mean, we are working a lot in emerging markets, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, Turkey, Egypt, Lebanon, so with that part of the Middle East, a lot of financial economical problems. Due to that, the clients are constantly asking for open account sales. Basically, the idea is they buy product from us or they get product from us. They have 3, 4, 5 months to sell it, and only then they will pay to us. This way, they don't have to take the loans. They don't have to pay the 5, 6, 7% interest rates on their financing. So we basically finance them with open. Exactly. That obviously brings the risk that in 3 months the company will not pay us, either because it doesn't exist anymore.
Why don't you charge an interest rate to them?
We put that into the price. I mean, the price.
The price reflects that.
If you sell open account, the price is always higher than if you have a prepayment. That's normal, because also the cycle of financing. Basically, we kind of calculate financing costs for them. And before sale is done or approved by head of sales, myself, head of operations, all the senior management plus, managing directors, etc. Trader has to prepare provisional P&L, profit and loss, where all of the costs are included already. So yes, this is number one challenge. For that, really a lot of credit insurance all around the world. I'm working with many different insurers. Mexico, Colombia, I mean, like local insurers, Turkey, Southeast Asia. We just had a wonderful meeting where we're discussing with 6 different, including Exim Bank, Exim Import Bank of Thailand, which is, they're providing also insurance, not only financing. So we're talking to everybody. I currently run about 7 different credit insurance policies. Me and my team. And we are looking to expand. We want another 5, 7, as much as possible, because the more credit limits we have, the more risk mitigation we can have for the companies, the more products we can sell. Then, obviously, because it's a physical transportation business, you also have marine cargo. So we are still transporting cargo by vessels. You mentioned the managing director. I was promoted to managing director of a vessel owning company, ship owner. We have a small fleet, 5 vessels, but it's very, very interesting. As I said, a very, very interesting.
You always loved vessels, I remember.
I love vessels because it's a big part of my job. So I do vessel insurance as well. I used to pollution and indemnity, hull and machinery, so basically the whole thing. As well as marine cargo. I mean, the transportation on marine is always by vessels. So obviously, vessels play a big part in commodity trading. It's a big business. Freight, with the cost of transportation, demurrage, how long the vessel is standing without moving or any orders. Huge business. And I mean, we get talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it was always very interesting for me. But with that come a lot of risks. Vessel can sink. A product completely lost. A lot of, unfortunately, conflicts going on around the world. Red Sea, one of it. Missile can hit. The pirates are attacking. So, but it's very, very interesting for me because it's challenges, and I love. It allows me to continue to grow as a professional, to learn more.
Are there insurance policies against pirates?
Yes. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. It's called Kalashnikov.
Really?
It's a joke. It's a joke, of course. There are. They are very complicated because the insurance also, they understand that the risks. So they don't want to insure everything. So then you find yourself in a situation where you actually cannot insure or mitigate all of the risks. So you are still constantly taking some of the risks. And here you have to make a decision. Is it worth it? Or do you have to go all around Africa and it's going to take you 3 times longer, let's say, to get to the destination? That costs money also. So how do you do it? This is very, very interesting. Those are the challenges. This is what we have to decide upon. So I discuss it with head of sales. I discuss it with my senior management. Get consultations even from the brokers. What do people do? Other clients do? What do they prefer to do? Things like that. And like I said, marine cargo insurance was just the product itself. Different commodities that we trade in, whether it is energy, steel, metal, soft commodities like grains, corn, etc. There are some risks. They can be damaged, hit, stolen, go bad, etc., etc. So we need a very good insurance in order to protect them. Storage. Sometimes you bring a whole vessel of product and you leave it there for 2, 3, 4 months. What if all of a sudden it goes bad? What do you do? That's a very, very big part. So I would say 70% of our transportations are insured because we don't always sell on CIF Incoterms. Mm-hmm. That means that we don't always have the obligation to the insurance, but when we do, obviously we must have the best. So the same thing, talking to a lot of brokers, underwriters, meeting with them, explaining my business, understanding what we're doing, explaining what we do, highlighting the experience that the whole group has in order for them to understand that we are not just troublemakers, just going out on the market trying to do whatever, but we actually understand what we're doing. That also helps to drop down the price. It helps to negotiations. The underwriter always have to feel comfortable. The broker is the middleman. The broker is there to help you strategize and convince the underwriter to take the risk. So you always have to work as a team with the broker. And I told you before, I work closely. There are specific brokers that I have a very good relationship, that we understand each other with perfectly, with one word. We developed a good relationship over the years. And I can count on them. I know that they got my back. If I tell them you have to fight for me, they will actually go and fight for me, physically. Joke, of course.
Dmitry.
And this is something that I'm trying to establish here in Thailand. So Howard and Maxi, we just had the meeting. Really wonderful. This is the second time around, so we had the meeting before. And this is kind of the follow-up with a new person,
in Thailand.
New broker. She just started a month ago. Coincidentally, she reached out to me because she saw a communication we had before, which kind of got a little bit cold, and she reached out at the perfect time because we were literally trying to expand our credit insurance here, and I have to say she has done an amazing job. She in a very short time, credit insurance takes a lot of time, so I saw that she was pushing.
So you had a good service in Thailand?
So far so good. And I think it's going to get only better. We actually had a meeting, we had for lunch, we got to know each other. Wonderful professional with a lot of years of experience, working for the best brokers and the even best insurance companies in the world. Allianz Trade, where I used to work, she also worked there as well. In Singapore, Thailand, so she does have experience. She did her training also in London, in Dubai as well. So a big professional, I felt it straight away. Very, very important to have this feeling.
Yes.
I have met brokers that after talking to them, I feel like this guy's not going to do, or this lady is not going to do anything for me. I stopped answering no communication at all from my side. You must have a feeling. Maybe with the banks it's a little bit different. In insurance, it's a must. You must know that you're on the same team. You must know that the broker is going to be there, especially when the claims happen. When the underwriters or the insurance underwriters have to pay you money, everything changes. They are not that happy. They don't want to pay you money.
It's not the same team again.
They like when you pay them the premium.
Yes.
When they have to pay you back, they change.
Do you change?
Of course, I become very aggressive actually. I push. I have had many claims, hundreds of claims in my life, and I've learned a lot. And I realized that in order for you to get the money from the insurance, you have to be aggressive. I go out very aggressive, but that's not everybody's time. Not everybody can do it. I don't mind. I just attack. This is what.
But in Thailand, being aggressive maybe won't be the best of the
This
solutions.
is very true. This is one of the things that I have noticed. This is my, I believe, 5th time already in Thailand, and I've noticed that the relationship, the people, the whole vibe is very different. So I would say in England, in Europe, even in Dubai now, maybe it was not 5-10 years ago, but now people are much more aggressive. So when I talk to insurance brokers, even the underwriters, swearing is normal all the time. This is part of the insurance business, like dirty mouths. Everybody has dirty mouths. Here, even myself, I feel very uncomfortable. I have in the whole meeting, I did not say one single bad word, and that is just because I feel people are very different, smiling, very accepting, very patient with you. They're listening, they show interest in you. Whereas in Europe, London, everything is like quick. So you kind of have to fight.
You have to push.
You have to dominate.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So here, this is kind of maybe a little bit new for me. I did not have any claims here. I did not know how to do things, but I'm very happy that I have met Viada, because she can be my kind of the middleman, my transition to the culture of Southeast Asia, which I do not understand yet 100%. I fully, I acknowledge that. So I'm very happy that I think the meeting went really well today. In general, I actually like Thailand a lot.
What do you think about business here? Opportunities and challenges?
A lot of opportunities. In general, what we see in Southeast Asia is that the countries are very friendly, very welcoming. I think it's because they want to attract business, just like Dubai. Dubai has done it in their own way. So it's basically building beautiful, buildings and creating any sort of activities, and the service level. 24 hours a day, you can get anything delivered to you, done to you, massages, or whatever, anything you want, right? Here, finance, like I said, they have a lot of money which they are willing to give at a cheap price. Here, I would say they do not have maybe the financing, the money, but they try to get you with their opponents, meaning that come here, bring money here, invest in us, and we will kind of together with you as partners develop something good. So they're trying to be welcoming, and this is something that we don't see everywhere. Like Africa is not the case. In Africa, I would see a lot of corruption.
And you traveled there. You traveled to Senegal. You have experience. You're not just. You're talking about something you know.
Yes, I've seen it.
Just precising to the audience. Yeah.
Yes, I think Africa is a much more aggressive place. People are angry. There has been a lot of corruption. They have been taking advantage of a lot.
They suffer
for years
lot,
and years and years. So they don't trust people.
They don't trust.
They're angry, even with one another.
And we have this peace in Thailand and in Southeast
It is
Asia.
a very well. Again, this is the whole religion or
cultural background. Buddhism.
I didn't want to say it in the wrong way. Buddhism,
yes.
The approach is very different. So Buddhism, yes, we had a discussion with the insurance broker Viada, and she said that Buddhism is more about being happy about who you are internally. It's not about possession. It's not monetary, and this I think is a big difference. People here in Thailand, what I see is they accept you about who you are inside, your actions, It's not about what you have. Whereas in other countries, Africa, even Latin America, things are still more material. Or what watch are you wearing? You know, who is your CEO? What car are you driving? I believe here it's much less.
But people can be happy with
yes,
what they have.
we are talking about foreigners coming here. I'm not talking about the locals who are here. I'm saying that as a foreigner, if I come and I'm dressed, let's say, in shorts and a t-shirt, I will be as welcomed as I am if I'm dressed in a suit, wearing a golden Rolex. That's what I mean.
Correct.
That the local people, they will not judge you but what you're wearing. What
Is it
they
the
do-
same in business? Do they also welcome any kind of businesses and people?
Well, unfortunately, business is business. Obviously, when our company came into the market,
Yes.
some people didn't like that because we brought more supply of a specific product. So somebody had to lose some of the clients. This is normal. So this is normal fight. But when it comes to the buyers, let's put it that way, right? The buyers who are not biased, right? Unbiased towards us. They welcome us. They have absolutely no problem that we do not speak the local language or we do not maybe know the culture. Obviously, we try to adapt and try to be as Thai, let's say, as possible. But yeah, we felt welcome. We grew. About 2 years ago, we only had 2 people here, non-local, foreigners. Now we're about 25, 30 people. Majority local Thais. I think we have 6 foreigners. So we have grown a lot, and we're planning much more, even investing here, purchasing some facilities potentially. So we really like Southeast Asia and Thailand in general. In the beginning, we wanted to make Singapore our headquarters because it's a group.
Yes.
We have also office in Laos, we have office in Hong Kong, Singapore as well. Now we have decided that Thailand will be the headquarters. And from here, we will kind of go into all other directions of Southeast Asia.
I'm happy to hear that.
China as well. We're looking to China. China is a little bit more complicated because in our business.
But you start in Bangkok, in Thailand.
Yes.
You use Thailand as your platform for
Yes.
Southeast
This
Asia.
is going to be the headquarters of our local group of companies. Yes.
Maybe another last question. You now have experience of dealing with your Thai co-workers, colleagues. What are the impressions? Do you feel strong cultural differences? And if yes, how you overcome it? And what's your experience with that?
I don't feel any cultural differences, me personally, but I'm a very international person. I came to Dubai, I felt very comfortable there with everybody. I mean, there are a lot of people from India, Pakistan, Philippines in Dubai. I feel like we're the same. In Europe, I felt always very comfortable.
You feel
Russia,
comfortable wherever you go?
I do feel comfortable wherever I am. Even when I went to Senegal, Africa, because I speak French, I felt I just took a taxi from the airport. I mean, I didn't ask for somebody to come pick me up, nothing. I would talk to people. Here, I mean, just yesterday I was in the office, laughing, making jokes, communicating with all of my colleagues. They seem to like me. I don't know, maybe they're lying, but I don't think so. Everybody's smiling, everybody have a lot of fun. You went to our New Year's dinner, so you saw the
Yes.
And you saw that
Great
it was
fusion.
not everybody. Me, I was very outgoing and talkative. Not all of my colleagues, the foreigners, have been the same. So there is some maybe separation between them. Just maybe they're not the same outgoing people as I am. Maybe a little bit more close.
But overall, there was a good fusion. Everyone sitting at the same table.
Of course.
They were eating Georgian, Azerbaijani, Russian food.
Drinking some vodka even.
Drinking some vodka and
Yes.
having good time. Yes, Dmitry.
That was the point. Just before you started, you closed. That's what we wanted to do. We want to create a strong team that understands each other better. So we want to understand the local culture, but we also want and need them to understand where we are coming from. Because at the end of the day, it has to be a collaboration. We cannot fully adapt to them, and if they don't understand us, we will not do business. So I think the team that we have now, also, it was not straight away we hired the right people. There was a lot of rollovers, and now we have a very solid team, in my opinion. And They've been with us, majority of the people have been with us almost a year already, so it's kind of solidified their positions.
Yes.
And I think that the collaboration that we're having here is very good, and this is why we want to make the headquarters. Simply because we feel it's a strong office. We feel like we have our presence here. The name of the company is starting to be known in Bangkok, and from here it will allow us to go to other locations, Southeast Asia.
I believe that's a great way to end this interview. Thank you so much for taking your time during your busy schedule for coming here, and I hope to see you soon in your next trip to Bangkok, and I wish you all the best in your new position as a managing director, Mr.
Thank you very
Odessky.
much. Thank you very much, Riyad. It was a lot of pleasure, huge pleasure, and I just want to say in the end that I'm very proud of you as well. 6 months ago I came here, you're just starting in Thailand, and I think that in 6 months, not to think, I see, I've been here, this is my 4th day, you have risen so much, like literally even myself in 6 months I wouldn't have done that. Even in Dubai, when I moved, it took me longer to get higher. The social circle that you have is completely different, very high class. People who are really deep into business, even the politicians, and I'm very proud of you. This is how you do it. Another for the youngsters, don't go out there, don't sit at home.
Leave the
communicate. Of course, leave the comfort zone. Talk. Nobody's going to bite you. Nobody's going to kill you. Just communicate. Ask questions again. Something that you did really, really well. I was very positively surprised by all the people that you have introduced me in the last couple of days, and I've seen that you have grown a lot. And this is only 6 months. I'm sure that the next time I'm going to come is going to be 10 times better. So
thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Please continue to develop. And this podcast, I think, is a great idea, and I'm sure you're going to succeed.
And thank you for being my first guest. I'm honored.
So am I. Thank you.